It's your boy, Notesdagawd, aka the Guardian Angel. And we back for another video. I got a video that came across my feed, The Evil Business in Music. I know for years we've been seeing so many demonic stuff. We've been seeing so many hand gestures. We've been seeing so many eye covers. We've been seeing so many things hitting, symbolistic, demonic things hitting in our music. And this is what our kids is listening to. So we got all red today. You dig what I'm saying? As they say, we gonna dance with the devil. But I ain't talking about, twerking. Because me not the diva. I'm talking about tap dancing on that ass. Amen? We gonna get right to it. Video from my boy, my man. I came across Blackie Speaks. Because when Blackie speaks, Blackie speaks. You know what I'm saying? Music industry, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna react to it. We're gonna see what my main man talking about. Because I'm here for the educational and elevating purposes. Know what I'm talking about? So, without further ado, let's get right to it. All right, guys, here we go. You know what I'm saying? The evil business of music. Here we go.
Beyonce.
Behind the glitz and glamour of the music industry lies a sinister and hidden truth, a system designed to exploit,
The devil give you all this money, go through all this shit to destroy yourself.
control,
It shouldn't be a situation where they own the album or the work. We're talking about intellectual copyright.
and keep artists in a perpetual state of debt.
This is very important because throughout the years, black artists have been taken advantage of completely. And it's time now that we have to put a stop to this incredible injustice.
Boom shakalaka!
Talk. Rest in peace, MJ.
I need to innovate what these contracts are, not just for me, but for all artists. It's not about me getting my masters back. It's about freedom.
Facts.
In this video, I want to cover what that truth actually looks like.
Facts.
For every artist who dreams of fame and fortune, there are countless of others who find themselves in prison.
Rest in peace to my man Prince. He was a real one. Very talented. Could play damn near any instrument. Had a voice of an angel. And he was about to, he was fighting for his rights. He was trying to come out and give his, his look and his insight about the music industry and telling us all the secrets and about, he was about to expose them. And then you know what they did, as usual. Rest in peace, Prince.
In a maze of legal jargon and financial pitfalls. Pitfalls that 95% of artists aren't even aware of until they find themselves in a position where they eventually are trapped. The standard recording contract in the music industry promises fame, fortune, and artistic success, but is sadly too often structured in ways that benefits the label more than the artists themselves. Without a thorough understanding of the contract's terms and potential pitfalls, a lot of artists unfortunately find themselves trapped in a cycle of debt, loss of control, and financial instability. These contracts, which we will go over, are meticulously designed to look like opportunities, offering advances that seem like a blessing to artists hungry for their big break. But what's hidden between the lines is a complex web of clauses that ensures the label recoups every cent, often at the expense of the artist. Before we continue, let's take a look at our real life example, okay? Which is a rapper I'm sure you recognize, Meek Mill. Now, Meek Mill almost 2 years ago went on his public rant against his record label, Atlantic Records. Now the question is, why did he go on this rant? Well, let's just say that he was getting screwed by his own record label. Because he signed a contract not knowing what he was signing off on. I made $11 million in 10 years from my music, just music payments.
Bloody drunk.
Meek said. I was shocked, mad, and didn't want to really rap for any label. Now I got a real point to prove, he said. In another tweet, Meek Mill stated that one of his biggest records, a song featuring Drake titled Going Bad, had made his record label over $24 million.
What?
Meek Mill had no clue how much of that money he himself made, if any.
Wow.
One day I asked how much Going Bad made, just that song. And this is him asking his record label, right? And the record label responded saying, the song made $24 million. How much did I make? All I got was I'm like, what the hell? I know all the financials to my other businesses. I signed out all trust for that whole system. Meek Mill ended that with. This is a rapper most people consider.
You know what that sounds like to me? Those X-Files, those higher ups. Ooh, they got you going bad, Meek.
A very big name, and to his
24
defense,
million.
Meek Mill is an extremely successful rapper. But like the majority of artists in the music industry, the lion's share of the revenue from his own work was going into the pockets of the major labels. The language in these contracts that artists sign are very dense. The terms are also convoluted, and by the time an artist realizes the true cost of what they signed, it's often too late. They're locked into deals where their music, their brand, and even their identity is no longer their own. And instead of living this music dream they once had as a child, they're working to pay off debts they didn't fully understand, creating their music not from a place of inspiration but obligation. So this thing they once loved becomes a means to fulfilling a quota. It's a system that's been perfected over decades with the sole purpose of keeping the power firmly in the hands of the record labels while artists struggle to find a way out.
Y'all gonna hear that a bunch of times a day because he's preaching the dirt.
And this is the truth. Most artists actually struggle. It may seem glamorous looking from the outside, but one audit of their financials would reveal a whole host of things.
I'm gonna keep it a bean though. This is an unnecessary pause, but y'all keep showing Drake. I'm pretty sure if Drake is up there with the higher ups, which I think not, because they tried to call him a petty all in the Super Bowl and throw that man out there because contract going up. You know how that goes. But I don't think Drake has any financial issues. Just saying. OVO?
You wouldn't ever believe. This is something that's far too common, specifically in the hip-hop culture. A flashy lifestyle is synonymous with the genre, and when rappers flaunt this luxurious lifestyle, dripping in designer clothes, driving exotic cars, and flashing stacks of cash, it's easy to believe they've made it big. But as a lot of us know, beneath the surface, this lavish lifestyle is nothing but an illusion.
Boom shakalaka!
And this lifestyle is actually fueled by advances from record labels that have to be paid back. These advances, which most artists look at as easy money, are actually loans that many artists struggle to recoup due to low royalty rates, hidden fees, and mounting expenses. As a result, a lot of artists, probably a lot of your favorite ones actually, are secretly in debt, locked into contracts that keep them financially strained while they keep projecting an image of success. The wealth they display is often borrowed, believe it or not earned, and actually far from the true financial freedom they portray in their music. While an entire generation of artists continue to trap themselves in a cycle of debt and control, and the industry continues to evolve. And the tactics they employ in order to keep as many artists as they possibly can under that system, which becomes even more advanced by the second. A standard recording deal typically offers an artist what they call an advance, which is essentially a loan that must be repaid through future earnings. So in other words, this advance represents what they view as a potential return on their investment.
Boom shakalaka!
Because they're not giving anybody a big ass loan out of the kindness of their heart. It's business. They're banking on the fact that they will make this back somehow, some way. Artists generally receive a royalty rate between 10 and 15%.
Watch closely. You're about to experience a nigga moment.
On album sales or streams, meaning they only earn between $1 to $1.
Let's peep this. Let's learn. The artists receive 10 to 15% points. Not coins, not money, not, you know what I'm saying, residual points out of 100. Wow. The rest goes to the label. Wow. For every $10 earned, the artist gets $1. So you mean to tell me that I am the talent, I am the voice, I am the creator, I am the, you know what I'm saying, the innovator. I am the one that got the motion, the one that got the look. The one is the reason why you even have people coming to this label platform or this label, that you get most of the money and I get little to none because you're funding me?
How about new?
50 cents out of every $10 of revenue they generate. Now the label keeps the rest to recover costs and profits. However, and this is the kicker, these royalties are paid only after the advance is fully recouped, and numerous hidden fees like marketing and production costs are deducted from the artist's share.
Brother, what's that?
Which honestly, it makes it very, very difficult for an artist to see significant earnings from their music. I mean, think about it. You receive this big ass check, okay? It's called an advance, but it's really a loan. And the intended purpose for this money is for this money to be spent and allocated towards your career. Even if you make a bunch of money on that first album, and this is something a lot of artists don't think about, unless the money you made exceeds the amount of money they gave you, you're still gonna be in debt to the record label, because that advance they gave you still needs to be recouped. And so the question is, what happens in a scenario like this? Well, let me tell you what happens. The artist ends up renegotiating their contract, okay, because they now have the leverage to do so. If the percentage in your original contract states that you'll be receiving 13% of revenue your record makes, well, now when you're renegotiating, because they see that you're a success, right, you have proof of concept, they might bump you up to 15% or 18%, which is on the high end, and that's not so common. 15.
That's disgusting. 15%, 18%. That is nasty work, ladies and gentlemen. Nasty work.
Is the most common number. What's psychologically going on here is the artist now feels lucky. They think, I was able to negotiate 2 more points.
So let's think about that. Let's talk about that real quick for people that's watching this, people that's locked in. Boy. As an artist, as you work very, very, very hard, maybe one year you pop off by God, you get blessed by God, or you put so much work in for years and you finally get your big break, right? So then the record label comes and tells you that you're only getting, I'm gonna give you $1 million, boom, from the get. But in your contract, not only got to pay that $1 million back, whatever money that you make as far as sales wise, no matter what, you only get $1.50 off it. Or as they say, 10 to 15%. Do we really want to be artists? Because if you think about it, if you're a popping artist, right, and you get $1 million advance or $2 million advance, because you just popping that much and they believe in you. If your first album sells total, it's like, just throwing it out there, 875,000 total, you're still in the hole because you still owe that 2 mil. And then your next album roll out and it's like 900,000. You're still in the hole. And then we're not even talking about what she's not talking about the hotel stays they pay for, the food service they pay for, the fees when you going out on radios. Think about it. Y'all really want to be artists?
How about new?
I didn't think so. Now, let's continue.
Which is another word for percentages. You know, that's the terminology they use in the music industry. So points equals percentage. Not only was I able to bump up the percentage I'm gonna make, but now they're offering me another advance. It must be my lucky day. Well, slow down, Padawan. It ain't your lucky day at all.
Nope.
The labels will always be willing to renegotiate with you if they see that you're selling. Will also always be willing to give you another advance. Now the question is, why are they willing to give you another big ass check? Well, let's do the math.
Let's
if you
do
sign
it.
for, let's say, 3 years and 3 albums, and they give you $300,000 as an advance, and by the time you get to your second album, you've managed to pay off $250,000 of that advance, which isn't likely for most artists, by the way, because
Facts.
the royalty fee they're giving you is it's just so small. But that's
Facts.
another conversation. By the time you get to your second album, there's still $50,000 for them to recoup. And this is when we get to the renegotiation. They bumped you up to, 15 points, and now they offer you $500,000 as an advance. You take the money, and now you're $550,000
In the
all before
hole. Yeah, see that? It's more debt. You getting more lit, but more debt. The more lit, the more debt. Does that sound like something that everybody want to be a part of as far as the music industry?
How about new?
you made a single cent off of your own music. This is what we call keeping you in a
So just think about that. My bad, I keep pausing. Think about that. You 2 albums in. Even though you got these advances, you ain't got a single. Ooh, made me do that Illuminati. You don't have a single cent in your bank account that you can claim yours, unless you're doing tours. But they still gotta set that up, and they pay for that, and they take that out your budget. Oh, talk about a triangle offense. Oh, you get it? Triangle.
Perpetual state of debt and deficit. As soon as you receive that payment, they just put you in a deeper hole, and you fell for it. Now, there's one really good thing about this and one bad thing. Let's start with the good so I can break you down later. The good thing is that you don't actually have to give this money back to the label. That's not how this works, because a record label will only offer this amount if they see potential earnings in your future. And most times the amount they give you is slightly higher than what they expect you to make. So they're the ones taking all the risk. That's the appeal of an advance. You're spending a bunch of money on your music career that is not yours to begin with.
Facts.
You're not the one putting up the dollars. And that's why this business model is so effective.
Boom shakalaka!
You get a bunch of money with practically no risk on your end. This is, however, when we get to the other side of it. Although you don't have to technically pay that money back, one thing that's generally present in these standard recording contracts the majority of artists sign is this word right here. In perpetuity.
And
What this essentially means is that there's no end date. This is forever. Once the artist signs that contract, they now own all the pieces of music you released under them in perpetuity, i.e. forever.
Hold on. Let's break that down one more again. In perpetuity. Class is in session, guys. Listen up. Let's pay attention for all my artists and everybody that wants to be in the music business. In perpetuity. The word perpetuity means the property of lasting forever. Forever. Anything in this perpetuity keeps on going and going and going. They should have in parentheses the Energizer Bunny. It never
You released
stops.
under them in perpetuity, i.e. forever. This is why ownership of music is the #1 way to wealth.
Had to hit the
Wealth
thunder
that
on
the
that.
big corporations who own the music pass on to their grandkids, while the musician who's slaving away in the studio is stuck in a cycle of debt. That's why they'll never be able to escape the cycle. They're not meant to escape it. And that's why I personally think signing to a label in this generation is completely obsolete. You
There it is. I'm just saying it without saying it.
don't need it. 9 times out of 10, the only reason why an artist would want to sign is because of fame. A record label is essentially the engine that propels an artist to fame. They'll put you on all the big billboards and the late night shows. They'll help you plaster your face in different parts of the industry that you yourself as a one-man show can't reach. And there's nothing wrong with wanting this, since everyone wants different things out of their career. If fame is what you aspire to get with your artistry, then signing to a record deal is definitely the right move for you, 100%. However, if you value your freedom as an artist more than the recognition, well, make sure you stay independent in that case. Being an independent artist is more than just a fancy word. It means that you're ready to do whatever it takes to keep being free. There's a price to everything in life. You're either going to have to pay by submitting to the shackles of the music industry, or you're going to have to pay with the discipline and self-reliance needed in order for you to keep the train going. Most human beings in general don't have this kind of drive, which is why the independent artist is becoming so rare. Not everybody is ready to put in the work necessary. The ones who are and stick it out have the potential to really reap the rewards while still maintaining sovereignty. And the ones who don't give up their freedom in exchange for control over their own work. Anyway, the evil business of the music industry. Curious to hear what you have to say about this topic. Okay, I'm going to hit more on these types of topics because this is kind of like bringing it back to, y'all remember, I used to make a lot of those videos back in the day, okay? OG Blackie Speaks viewers, y'all know what I'm talking about. This is honestly information that I think could just save at least one artist from making a huge mistake. So for me, if I save one artist from making that mistake, this video was absolutely worth it. So definitely send this video to all your friends who...
You saved me without saving me, brother. You hear me?
Are in the music industry or aspire to make it in the industry one day. Anyway, do you have any thoughts on this topic? Curious to hear what you have to say. So yeah, I'll catch you on the next one, and have a good day, good night, wherever you're at, okay? Peace. Take care.
Yes, sirski. Yes, sirski. Well, boys and girls, what did we learn about the music industry today? Well, for one, you know that when you start, you get an advance. And even if you get advance, you still have to pay that back completely. And you know, we don't all sell as much as we do coming out the gate, even from the poppest of poppest, unless we Michael Jackson or we freaking Drake or, you know what I mean, Jay-Z, all them back in the day top artists. They still don't even sell 1 million out the rip. So if you get them, you still won't be in the hole. So we learned today that basically, you know what I'm saying? Percentages, 10 to 15% from the RISNA E. And that's all you get. And sometimes 13%, which means if your album is, if they're getting $10 for every CD, you only get $1.50. Now, when it comes to the streaming, we got to break that down, but that's going to put it in another video. You know what I'm saying? And then perpetuity. You hear that word perpetuity? Run, Forrest, run! You know what I'm saying? But y'all let me know how y'all feel. You know what I'm saying? I know this is going to be an ongoing topic for years about this music industry, but people still want to do it because they like the fame, they like the fortune, and they like the glory. But at the end of the day, we all have to answer to a higher power, and he's going to ask us, what did we do when the test was up to you? You know what I'm talking about? Holla at a player.
The light skin one. Notesdagawd.